A lot of people have been following a lot of these controversial figures on YouTube and Kick and all the streaming platforms that are out there. A lot of podcasts have become very popular, like Fresh and Fit, which is hosted by Myron Fresh and his boy. And I find it to be very entertaining. I've had friends of mine appear on that show. And I'd love to appear on the Fresh and Fit podcast, especially if they're going to host a man by the name of Zherka. A lot of you have been messaging me and begging me to respond to this person, to this character. And it's not really my style or my format of what I do here on my own channel, my podcast, and all that other stuff. I try to be positive. I try to really keep things light, and I don't like to get into this he said, she said shit and nonsense that seems to be happening and becoming very popular on YouTube. I guess there's no greater example of this than Dylan Danis and Logan Paul. I mean, it just gets really low and disgusting and gossip and backbiting and things that go against what I believe in spiritually. But from a spiritual perspective, I feel like I do got to comment on this character named Zherka for a couple of reasons. One, he's Albanian in origin. Two, he claims to be a spiritual Christian. He talks about Christ as king, and he left the religion of Islam because it didn't make sense to him, which I don't know what form of Christianity he's following, because the stuff he says, Jesus Christ would roll over in his grave if he wasn't resurrected. And I just feel like I need to address some of this, and not just to pick on Zherka, but by the way, my grandmother's side of the family, that's their last name. I'm actually related, not to him directly, because it is a large last name used by a large clan, and I'm wondering if he's a cousin of ours somehow. But we definitely don't claim him, not as an Albanian, not as a Christian or a Muslim. And I got to say, the impact he's having on young people is definitely not a positive one. I don't like a lot of the nonsense that comes out of his mouth. I would love to be involved in a debate, Albanian versus Albanian, religion versus religion. Sneeko could host it, Fresh and Fit could host it, whoever wants can host it. I'd love to set the record straight in front of the whole world. And I'm not there to put this guy down. I'm here to have a real productive conversation, because I think some of this shit coming out of his mouth is an embarrassment to me as an Albanian, to me as someone that respects Christianity, and someone that follows the religion of Islam. And I don't know how you can sit here and talk about banging bitches and blowjobs and all kinds of nasty shit, and then you say that you're some kind of Christian. You're not. You're not. I'm not one to judge you, because Christ did say, let he who has not sinned cast the first stone. But you shouldn't be bragging about things that are deplorable in any religion. Promiscuity, banging chicks, drugs, using racial slurs, even if it's funny, and even if people are not getting offended, a lot of people are. So what's mind-blowing to me is how a company like Valuetainment could host this guy, Fresh and Fit. You know, there's a lot of young people watching these videos, even if we put our labels on them, age. I've caught my young sons watching things they shouldn't be watching, like Adam 22 and stuff. I mean, there's just no way to protect our kids from stuff. I put filters on. I put stuff on. These clips pop up. These videos are popping up. And I just got to ask you guys, you know, are you trying to really be a role model to young people, or is it all just about shock and awe, getting likes, getting follows? Because all you're doing at the end of the day is selling your soul. If that's not what you truly believe in, the way you're talking, the way you're carrying yourself, the way you're speaking about the opposite sex, the way you're degrading God's creation, it couldn't be further from Christian-like, or Muslim-like, or Jewish-like, or Albanian-like. So my brother, I just want to have a conversation and see if we could have a real productive talk about how this is beneficial to anything. Now, do I enjoy the Fresh and Fit podcast? I got to admit, I love it. I think it's very entertaining, very interesting. I got to agree with a lot of the shit that Myron says. And I give credit to all of you for at least having the courage to say whatever the hell you feel like. And it does take courage. to talk the type of shit you guys talk and walk into the streets of the world. So for that, I give you guys all a pat on the back. But I just want to remind you of the damage you could be doing to young men, young children. I'm not saying I am about being an alpha male, and you shouldn't be proud, and you should have honor with your woman, and your woman should have honor too, because in the Albanian culture, your woman is your face. As they say, makamar ftyren. Your woman is your face, and that's why Albanians have, throughout history, been very violent when it comes to their women, their sister, their mothers, anybody messes with them or dishonors them. It's been a big part of our culture. But just because someone's not Albanian doesn't mean we should look at women differently because they're not. What I'm trying to say with all of this is, spiritually, none of this shit is good. Whether you're a Christian, Muslim, Jew, I wouldn't be happy. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm happy he's not representing Islam. I'm happy that he left Islam with some of the shit that's coming out of his mouth. You know, there's one thing in Islam that says, you know, you should never talk about your sins. You should never brag about them. That by doing so, you show no remorse to the Creator. And that you'll probably won't be forgiven for those sins because you're bragging about them. And when you brag about them, you inspire others to do them, to commit adultery, to be promiscuous. In the Islamic faith, someone that sins should keep it inward. It's between them and God. And if they really want to correct their action, the last thing they're doing is speaking about the bad that they've done in their life. They would feel shame and they would pray to God and have that connection and try to change the way they live their lives. In any event, I am no one to judge Zherka or anybody because I am not God and I don't know what they've been through. Being Albanian, coming from Kosovo, former war zone, you know, trying to survive, these things take a toll on a person, a man, a woman, their heart, their minds. You know, one thing about Zherka is he does pretty much say whatever he feels like saying. And, you know, do I think, you know, I just think some of it's just not beneficial, man. But it's not entertaining. So is it because you truly believe this shit, man, and you're saying all this crazy shit, or are you just trying to get the shock value? And I'm going to play a few clips, and you tell me how this is Christian-like.
What if they talk about each other? Because sometimes when I've had 3-4 girlfriends on rotation, I say, guys, don't talk about each other, but then I start making one jealous, so I get better head. You know what I mean? I get more of that, like, she goes from like that slow to like...
I like having them be friends because it makes
you don't
life
like
easier
to
for me.
Bring chaos.
I mean, is that Christian talk, Zherka? I just want to know, brother.
Okay.
I'm trying
So
to
I
understand
fucked this 18-year-old girl, right? And I bust in 2 minutes, and this is how disgusting women are, bro, right? And this is all comedy. I love women to death, can't get enough of them. But yo, check this out.
He means 18-year-olds, so you fuckers don't try to clip this, okay?
Yeah, 18-year-olds.
Continue on, John.
On her birthday.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. But yo, check Who's laughing like that? Who's that guy back there?
Big Mo.
Yeah, that's Big Mo.
I love that. I love that support right there. That went on. Yo, when you said, this is like a year and a half ago, men want sex and peace and quiet, that was the most black appealing thing I heard, because I'm like, billions of women, 3 billion women on earth, and they can't figure that equation out. They're so stupid. Yo, as soon as we come, leave the fucking house and go for a walk. We never want to be around you when we come. Go for a walk, go to the doghouse, go wherever the fuck you gotta go.
Some of this shit is, you know, obviously funny. I can't deny that part. But if you're going to rock with JC, you really can't be talking like this, bro. You just can't. It goes against everything. And I'm noticing a trend now on YouTube where it's all the young people just acting like...
easily beat him.
How long you been wrestling?
What's that motherfucker, that 190-pound motherfucker?
Just acting like crazy, you know?
He did. He can wrestle.
The Island Boys.
I don't care what you have to say.
You know,
Aren't you fighting Aiden?
it's like the new real reality shows, right? Like in the old days, we had the Real World, MTV, and all this other shit. This shit is like, I don't know if it's staged, man. I can't tell. But like I said, people ask me to address this topic, so I'm addressing it.
Albania, this is from an Albanian. I don't hate black people, I just don't like them.
What are you doing,
As an Albanian,
bro?
I don't hate black people, I just don't like them. Well, that couldn't be further from the truth either. You know, now, has there been beef in the Bronx and all this shit back in the day? It wasn't because someone was it was just beef was beef, man. Most Albanians are friends with everyone, man. You know, I've been to weddings where Albanians have married African Americans, people from all parts of the world. I have cousins that are, you know, different nationalities and races. So, you know, I don't like when we make general comments, especially when we're using my nationality, my grandmother's last name. Maybe it'd be Zherka versus cousin of Zherka. It would be a great epic debate, I think. If you're watching, let me know, cuzzy. In any event, that's kind of where I'm at with the whole Zherka thing. I don't feel a need to feed into this, but I did want to address it because as an Albanian, as someone that's spiritual, as someone that creates content, a lot of you have been writing me to address this guy. I will debate Zherka on religion anywhere, anytime, any place. If you guys want, you can tag him. Let him know. Let's have a real talk, man. Let's sit down and let's put it all on the table. You want to have a debate? We'll discuss Islam versus Christianity. You let me know. This is Beck Lover, and this is my 2 cents.
Beck Lover.